Hello friends, this is Swapnil. Welcome to the channel NetKingIT. So in today's video, we are going to see how to create AWS VPC, Subnet and route table. I would recommend you please watch previous video where I have explained public subnet and private subnet in detail. Also, you can find additional video links in the description below. So before moving to the AWS Management Console, let's discuss about the steps that we are going to perform during our lab. As per the network diagram, we will select one region, the Mumbai region in our case. Then we will create one VPC. While creating VPC, we have to mention the CIDR block. And in our case, we will use 10.10.0.0/16. After creating VPC, we will create subnets. If you see in the diagram, we will create two subnets in AZ1 and two subnets in AZ2. So AZ1 will have one public subnet and one private subnet. Similarly, in AZ2, we will create one public subnet and one private subnet. Okay. So while creating subnet, we need to mention the VPC which we created in step 2. So that's why before creating subnet, we have to create the VPC. Okay. Then fourth step will be create route table. So we will create custom route table and we will give a name one RT-private, that will be the private route table, and another one RT-public, this will be the public route table. So why I'm calling it private? Because once we create this route table, we will associate the private subnet to the private route table and the public subnet to the public route table. Okay. After associating the subnet to the route table, we have to put default route in a public route table towards internet gateway. Similarly, in a private route table, we have to put default route towards the NAT gateway. Let's log into the AWS Management Console to perform all these 4 tasks. So just we can search for the AWS console login in the Google search box. It will show us the URL where we can log into the AWS Management Console. So when I click on it, it will redirect to this URL. We need an account with the AWS to have access to the Management Console. So I already logged into AWS Management Console. So this is the home page of the once you log in into the AWS Management Console. Here you can find recently visited AWS services. Now in our task, first is we need to select the region. At the right top corner, you can find the drop down menu where we can select the region according to our requirement. So as we decided, we will select Mumbai region. Now we are inside the Asia Pacific Mumbai region. So second task is create VPC with CIDR block 10.10.0.0/16. Okay, we can click here recently visited VPC service, or we can search for VPC in the search box. It is showing the VPC services here. So now we are on the VPC dashboard page. Okay, so on this VPC dashboard page, we can find all VPC related services here at the left hand side. So there are the option, your VPCs, subnets, route table, internet gateway. Okay, so our second task is we need to create the VPC. But let's see what's in our VPC in a default setting. If I click on your VPCs, See, there is no VPC configured yet. Usually we can find the default VPC here, which I have deleted. Let me show you in the different region. Let me select the Singapore region. If I go to Singapore region in the VPC, you can see there is a default VPC. So each region has default VPC with the CIDR block 172.31.0.0/16. But as we need to create new VPC with our CIDR block as per our requirement, so we are not going to use the default VPC. Okay, let me go back to the Mumbai region. So now I am inside the Asia Pacific Mumbai region. As I said, there was a default VPC, but I have deleted that as I need to create new VPC. So there is an option at the right side to create VPC. Let's click on it. So to create a VPC, we have to give a name to VPC. Then we have to provide the IP version for CIDR. Rest of the settings we will keep as it is, the default setting. Create VPC. So now there is a message, you successfully created VPC. This is a VPC number. Okay. Now we have created the VPC. Let's go to the your VPC option. See, now we can see there is a VPC. One VPC is created. Let me select it. So once we select it, then it will show the all details below this VPC. Whenever we create VPC, it will automatically create the default route table. We call it main route table. Let me go to route table. See, so this is the route table which is created after we configured the VPC. Okay, and how we can identify this is the default one. So here is the option under this main, it says yes. So means this is the main route table and this is a default one. Whenever we create a new VPC, it will create one default main route table. Okay, so let me show you. I will create one more VPC inside this region. We will give different CIDR. And click create VPC. Now the VPC 2 as well created. Now I will show you. See, in this our VPC list, we can see there are two VPCs now. As I said, each VPC has default main route table. So let's see, there should be the two route table now in the route table. See, now we can see there are two route table. One route table, main route table, this is a default one which is for the VPC 1, and the other route table, this one is for VPC 2. Okay, let's move on to the our second task. We selected region Mumbai, then we have created the VPC. Okay, now we are going to create the subnet. So as we decided, we will use single VPC. Inside that we will have the subnet. So let me delete the other VPC. We can select this VPC from here and go to the actions, select delete VPC. Type delete and click on delete. See, the other VPC is deleted. Now we have single VPC, VPC 01. Okay. Now let's move on to the subnets. Here we will create our subnets. So as per the diagram, we are going to create two subnets inside AZ1. So that is public subnet and private subnet. And in AZ2, we will create two subnet, one public subnet and one private subnet. Now we are inside the subnet option. There is a option at the right top corner to create subnet. Let's click on it. We have to select the VPC under which we have to create this subnet. Select the VPC, then give a name to the subnet. I will give a name for public subnet like PUB-01. We have to select the availability zone. As you are aware, in one region there will be at least 3 availability zone. If I select it, there are 3 availability zone in the Mumbai region. So we are going to create 2 subnets inside one AZ. So we will select AZ1, that is AP South 1A. From this CIDR, we have to provide the subnet. We will select 10.10.1.0/24. Now you can see inside subnet, we have created subnet. Likewise, we have to create rest of the 3 subnets. Let's create now. For private subnet, I will give this different name. Select the availability zone. I'm selecting the same availability zone. From this CIDR, we have to give the different subnet now. It should not be overlap. If you see, we have created the private subnet. Let me click on the subnets. See, so far we have created 2 subnets. One public subnet and the other one is private subnet. Both subnets belongs to the AZ1, that is AP South 1A, AP South 1A. Let's create the other 2 subnets in AZ2. Select the create subnet option. Select VPC and give a name. Now we will select the other AZ. See, now we have created one public subnet and one private subnet inside AZ1, that is AP South 1A, AP South 1A, and other 2 subnet, that is public 02 and private 02 in the other AZ. See, okay. So we have created 4 subnets as per our requirement. Now next, we have to create the route table. See, so we have to go to the route table option. So we have single VPC and the main route table associated with that VPC. Okay. So basically, main route table always there when we create the VPC. The use of the main route table is, let's say if the subnet is not associated to any of the custom route table, then it will use the main route table. You will understand onwards when we will create the route table and we'll associate the subnet. So let's click the create route table button. So we are going to create the custom route table, and as per our task, we will create one private route table and the other route table will be the public. This is just a name, okay? And we will associate the private subnet to private route table and public subnets to the public route table. We will give a name RT-public. Select the VPC and click on create route table. So we can see there is one main route table and the public route table is created. Let me create the private route table now. Give a name. Select the VPC. Okay. So now we have created custom route table. That is, one is a public route table and other one is a private route table. Now we have to associate the subnets to this route table. Okay, so we will associate the public subnet to the public route table and the private subnet to the private route table. So select the public route table first, then go to the subnet associations. Here is the option edit subnet association. Select the public subnet. Click save association. So we can see now the subnet association with the public route table. Similarly, we will associate the private subnet to the private route table. Okay, so we have done the subnet association with the route table as well. See, whenever we create the custom route table, you can find option main is no. Okay, the custom route table is not a main route table, hence it is showing no. Only the default route table is a main route table. Okay, that's why its main option is yes here, the default route table. Let me explain you why we use the main route table. So let's say I have one additional private subnet here and it is not associated with any of the route table, then it will get used by main route table. Okay, so this subnet will get associated automatically to the main route table if we don't have any association for this subnet. In short, if there is a subnet available but there is no route table associated with that subnet, that subnet will get associated with the main route table automatically. Okay, now the next part is we have to put the default route towards IGW for public route table and the default route towards NAT gateway in the private route table. So let me select the public route table. If we go to the routes, we can see there is a local subnet. So this is the local CIDR for which the route is not required because this is inside the VPC. Any machine belongs to this subnet will be reachable locally, right? Because this CIDR inside the VPC. Hence, we need a route for the outside devices. Let's say one of the machine from public subnet want to access something over the internet or outside this region, then we need to put a route which will go out through the IGW. Okay, hence we need to put the default route towards the internet gateway. So we can create a route from here, add route, default route towards internet gateway. But we have to select the internet gateway here. As we have not created internet gateway yet inside this VPC, we don't have the internet gateway to select here. So let's create internet gateway first. To create the internet gateway, there is an option under virtual private cloud. Select the internet gateways, create internet gateway, give a name, create internet gateway. That's all. Internet gateway is created now. Okay. But still we cannot see while applying the route, default route. See, let me show you here. Default route towards internet gateway. See, we have created the internet gateway, but still we don't see that in the drop down menu, because once we create the internet gateway, we have to attach that internet gateway to the VPC. Go to the internet gateway, select the internet gateway, and we have to attach that internet gateway to the VPC. So go to the action. There is an option to attach to VPC. Select the VPC and attach this internet gateway with this VPC. See, now attached. So this internet gateway is attached to our VPC now. Okay. Now we can able to put the default route towards internet gateway. Let's try it now. So select the public route table, go to routes, add route, default route towards the internet gateway. See, select the internet gateway. Okay, save changes. So now you can see there are two routes. One is a default route towards internet gateway, and one is a local route, which is a local VPC CIDR. Okay, I hope you understand the public subnet and should have the public route table, and public route table should have the default route towards the internet gateway. Okay, likewise, we should have the default route towards the NAT gateway to reach the internet for the private route table. Okay, so let's select the private route table, go to routes, here add route, the default route towards the NAT gateway. Here also we don't have the NAT gateway configured, hence we don't see the NAT gateway in the drop down list. Let's cancel it and create the NAT gateway. To create the NAT gateway, you can see the option inside the virtual private cloud. Select the NAT gateway. Now click on create NAT gateway. Give a name. Select our VPC. And NAT gateway always resides in the public subnet. So click on the create NAT gateway. The NAT gateway is created. Now we will go to the route table. As you know, inside the private route table, we have to put a route, default route towards the NAT gateway. Click the routes tab, add route, default route towards NAT gateway. See, now we can see the option NAT gateway. In a public route table, we have created route, default route towards the internet gateway. And in a private route table, we have created default route towards the NAT gateway. So now we have completed all our 4 tasks. We selected region, Mumbai region, we created VPC, then we have created subnets, we created the route table and associated all these subnets with the specific respective route tables, and we have created the default route towards the IGW for public subnet, and we created default route towards NAT gateway for private route table. I hope you found this video informative. Thank you for watching it. Don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you again. Take care. Bye bye.